starting. We're starting. Enjoy the show if you're smoking at home.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Can everybody say good morning? Are you happy this morning?
Yes.
Maybe you're waking up. Well, you're in the right place because guess what? We're having a great time. My name's Jason, and I'm part of this process journey. I'll tell a little bit of my story as I'm just getting the opportunity to be the MC today and introduce some of the people. Whether it's Easter for you, whether it's Pascha, whether it's that chocolate bunny day, it's also 420. Is that a good day for you? 420, right?
Yeah.
Happy 420. I got into this a little bit differently. You've heard that Craig was a pastor at one time. I am a pastor as well. And I got into this because in my mind, I needed to help some people. You realize that's what cannabis is. It's about helping people. It's a medicinal, magical plant that brings great medicine to your body. My dad was diagnosed with cancer. And within another week or so, my daughter was diagnosed with MS. And those were two things that were going to be a struggle for me to understand. So I started doing research and found out that the best way to handle that would be to learn about THC for the cancer and bombarding the MS with CBD. So that was my entrance into it. I had no idea where I was going, what I was doing. And 6 years ago, Craig called me. We hadn't talked in a while. He goes, "What are you doing now?" "Well, I'm not at a church anymore." He goes, "Where are you?" I go, "I'm pastoring pot. I'm pastoring plants. I'm running a farm, a large farm, 28 greenhouses, 18 greenhouses, putting out 1,800 pounds of green a month." So it was awesome for Craig to come. He met me there, we talked, and I began to learn his journey. And what I realized is that oftentimes we demonize this and we don't really learn what it's about. Even on Easter, if you thought about it, man, we're just here about coming together. We're here to have a good time. We're here to share stories of grace and stories of generosity and giving. And the fact that you came here today tells us that you matter to us, and we're part of your journey today. We have some guests that are going to be here too. First, that's going to come up after me is Guy Ricourt. If you do not know Guy, he is an OG legend. I hope I don't embarrass him. That's the way I see him, as a person who's learning constantly. I look to him for insights and guidance. And I would say truthfully and without any type of pause that he's one of the greatest minds cannabis has ever had in this West Coast. So we're glad he's here. Also, on music, in a moment, you're going to hear some music coming up that's going to accompany the rest of the time today from Kenny Holland. He has a whole story that he'll share with you, but they have reimagined what LDS hymns would look like with a new spin, same lyrics. So the creativity, again, that's part of the attributes of enjoying cannabis. The mind opens and creativity happens. I do know that being here today would probably put a scalpel to my neck in the world that I live in, but I believe that no matter, you still need to speak truth. Are you with me today? And then finally, Craig is going to come, and Pastor Craig is going to share about spiritual plants, literally take you to the light, show you the light, and then we're going to have a great day. Kenny's music, Guy's expertise, Craig's vision, and well, I just get to hang out with my favorite right here. So without further ado, would you please say a good morning to our friend Guy Ricourt?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for joining us this Sunday. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, Marty, and the team at Urbana for hosting us. My understanding is this only happens every 50 or 60 years, that 420 and Easter, fall on the same day. I myself was raised Catholic. I've since stepped away from religion just because, I think I want to believe in truth, and so much has been commodified today, not unlike our planet. So, just quickly a little bit about my journey. I started actually back in New York, and the first time I was introduced to cannabis as a medicine was when I was working in television with a talk show host, Montel Williams. He came down with MS. I saw how this plant worked like any other analgesic, like any other drug. Like if you're a sick person, you need hundreds of milligrams, and it doesn't quote unquote get you high. It makes you feel better, right? Not unlike opiates. You take too many opiates, that's abuse if you don't have a reason. But if your leg is broken, you just feel better and can function, right? So I started seeing the plant there. Came to work out in Los Angeles at Paramount right when we were doing this 215 thing in California, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I started a small cultivation. I like to think 2 lights became 4 lights, became no doc loans. Before you know it, we're providing access and medicine, and I feel really good. And yeah, sure, it's against the law, as it were, and there was a lot of things that happened during the legacy market, but there's no question that we were also healing people, and it just was always obvious to me that the value of the plant far outweighs any argument against it, especially in a society that is so normalized alcohol, right? Like if you guys think about any media that you watch, TV show, sitcom, drama, car, it doesn't matter what it is. At one point, they reach into, whether they're at work or not, a bottle, like as if it's nothing, but yet that can kill you, and this plant can heal you, and yet we find ourselves still unable to really truly harness the power of it, right? And if you guys remember, I don't know if you know, coming up my journey, I was lucky in the late 90s, early 2000s to meet a lot of folks who were really putting it down. One of which was past is Jack Hara, who had written this book called The Emperor Wears No Clothes. And he told us, first of all, hemp's a superfood. Think about how many acai bowls, everything, all these different things, almond trends, all these trends that we've had. Meanwhile, the hemp seed sits there with a full amino profile, high protein, nothing but good fats, and yet it's not anywhere in our food supply. And I would put to you that part of the rise of problems that we've had is because after the scourge in the early 1900s, hemp starts to be removed from our foodstuff system systematically. And now we're sicker for it, literally, right? We have this plant that wants to feed us, it wants to provide medicine, and its fibrous stalk, unlike cotton and everything, wants to be processed into textiles and industrial goods, and yet we're just stepping over it. It's unconscionable. So on a day today, when we think about resurrecting, when we think about bringing back to life, I think it's important to remember that this is the way we do it. I've always believed that hemp would save our world, and I think now is the time. In late stage capitalism, when we see things just getting intense, first, we definitely want to take the chill off, right? And I invite you guys, I know we're not allowed to light up here, which would be awesome, but I have here a pivot, and you can just double click this thing, which is amazing. This is the essentially aromatherapy, right? I'm going to heat up the trichomes to produce some vapor, which I'll breathe in, and it'll make us all feel better, right? I look around the room, and it's awesome that we're able to vaporize here. It's awesome that we can even be live streaming and talking about cannabis without any fear of repercussions. That is a long way from where I came when I started in the industry. A little bit more about my story. If you go next door, I started this company called Papa and Barkley, focused on wellness. And I have to say, without being a hypocrite, I understand why some brands and some places in the industry are where they are. My actual first opportunity was in Colorado, and I too, like most people, wanted to over-refine the plant. I had this instinct that to legitimize myself, I needed to mirror myself like the other businesses, like typical CPG. Luckily, I was blessed to meet my partner, Adam Grossman at Papa and Barkley, and realize that, wait, that's not what we advocated for. Cannabis is not trying to be a target. Cannabis is trying to be its own thing, plant medicine. That's what we advocated for. That's what people got incarcerated for. We had these drugs called Marinol and Sativex. Isolated compounds of THC and CBD don't work. We already knew that. But yet, as soon as this legal thing comes out, they just want us to be like turmeric, just another ingredient in a bunch of other colorful packages that can be sold, and we continue to step away from plant medicine. I think that is a flaw in our current industry, but being here in a room today, I realize that we've come a long way. We are on the comeback. We are being resurrected. Plant medicine is here, right? It took a long time for me to be able to step out and tell everybody what I'm doing. There used to be a time where it was like, you only know your plug or you only know your connect. But now we can talk about it openly, and now we can speak truth. We can say that, you know what, this plant heals. And like, I'm not a prohibitionist. I would never deny anybody free choice, but we are being denied. This plant should be everywhere, and it should be the normal thing. I think about our farmers now that are being totally thrown under the bus, soy farmers. Why are we not encouraging them to grow hemp? A better seed, a better fiber. That's how we make real change, is by seeing truth, hearing truth, but most importantly, living truth. We all have choices to make as consumers, and if we make that choice for plant medicine, whether it's at the dispensary level, whether it's at the clothing level, that's what's going to be important. But anyway, I will wrap up by saying that I thank everybody here. I thank Marty for putting this on, and I really appreciate the fact that all of the folks today on 420 are experiencing the resurrection of plant medicine. There's a brand here called Christian Cannabis that I'm partnered with, and I will tell you that I firmly think that Jesus would pass the joint on 420, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. The social aspects and the social dynamic of cannabis are one that they say that asks you to do the work. Cannabis brings an introspection that I think Jesus would want us to have. This is not about placing power outside of ourselves. It's about looking within ourselves to know our truth and, more importantly, to live it fully. And that truth, in my firm belief for most human beings, is the care and love in one another. We have a time now where many Christians are being told to be afraid of somebody else. I do not believe Jesus was afraid of any other human being. And I think if he was afraid, as I was reminded today, he would probably go and wash their feet. And I'm pretty sure he would smoke a joint with them, right? So I think that today, as we resurrect, we should dispel fear and realize that anybody that has fear and hate coming out of their mouth is not an ally of Jesus, is not trying to bring life. And I can tell you that as a person who's been in cannabis for 25 years, a friend in weed is a friend indeed. I've smoked with my worst enemies, and it's hard not to fucking smile. Facts, right? This plant brings love in a way that I've never seen before, and I think we should all breathe that in today and take it forward. Every day we can come back and wake up and be alive with this plant and be present for our fellow persons. That's what this was about, and I'm pretty sure that a big amount on it that Jesus would agree with me, full stop. Our purpose in life is to fill ourselves first so that we can then help others fill their cups. And cannabis, unlike most other quote-unquote drugs or whatever, make you look within and make you ask the questions about your truth. This is not about escaping. This is about understanding who we are so we can stand up and then share that love of self with others. Though that is that fundamental principle, that social aspect of us all coming together, being in a session, communing around the plant, that's what we should be thinking about today and every day forward. And I hope by the time this happens again in whatever 2084, and we're here on 420 Easter, that we'll live in a world where, yeah, the normal thing to do is to smoke and smile, even with those that you disagree with. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. So, hey, if you're going to smoke, we got some music because we're taking you to church today. So light it up however is legal in this room, which is vaporizing. I got a volcano hit here. So if we want to partake in what I call the medicine, breathe it in. I'm going to share with you in a little bit.
Buddies is serving as well.
Buddies, we got buddies dabs. I mean, for me to go out like this on 420 on Easter, Legend Ghee here, we've got dabs, we got donuts, and weed. Weed saved my life, and I grew up on Dare. Born in 75, right up the road in Palo Alto. I've never been drunk in my life, and I never tried cannabis, and I've never finished a beer, and I never went to a dance in high school. We only went to banquets because I was Baptist, so we couldn't dance, we couldn't drink, we couldn't smoke. I was one of the spiritual chaplains for the Packers all the way to the Super Bowl. I helped with the distractions off the team. But a lot of my friends got headaches and concussions, and then one day I got one. I called my friend from the league. I was like, what do I do? He's like, you stop working and you don't look at a screen for 2 weeks. And I was like, how do I do that? Then I watched a documentary on weed on CNN. And instead of going to church one Sunday, my wife said, why don't you and Dave go get your medical marijuana cards and I'll watch the kids. It was 2013. There was no cool brands. It was none of that. It was a green door after a Skype doctor. I felt like I was breaking every law imaginable, but it was all legal. And I knew all my friends in Christianity would be at my house as soon as I had my card. I walked into a store and they said, "You're not this Dave Tosti." And I was like, "That doctor made our cards wrong. Like, none of it about this is." So I went back to the doctor, and then I went back to the dispensary, and I said, I watched Sanjay Gupta on CNN. She says, "We just have fucking top shelf here." And I was like, "What's that?" She's like, 27% THC or higher. And I was like, "I don't want to smoke anything." It took me 5 years from 2013 to 18 to smoke something. It's my favorite form now to enjoy cannabis. But it was so demonized. This was the devil's lettuce. This would go against everything. Then I found a store called The Higher Path. They sold me some relaxaments. They were 5 milligrams. It balanced out everything. Fast forward, my wife has cancer. She's never smoked anything in her life. I've read all the stories. I've read what Guy did for Montel Williams when he became his caregiver, and I said I could sit with you on high doses of cannabis. Fuck chemo, fuck big pharma. Let's just go about it this way and say this plant's good. So I'll share a little bit more, but along the way on my journey, I found that music opens up. That's why we sing it in a church. I was always the preacher, but I always loved the music. And today you're gonna get a little bit of both. But this is my best friend in the world, Kenny Holland. He grew up singing every church hymn imaginable. When Vine came out, he was 16. Nicki Minaj was, I think, the first one to repost him. All the way down to Ryan Seacrest on New Year's Eve. He said he'd never go on American Idol because he wanted to be known for his music. He was homeless last year after he did psychedelics with me. His Mormon family kicked him out of the church. He didn't follow the path. He says, "I have a vision to do a recreation of some Mormon hymns." I grew up Christian, he grew up Mormon. It's all a chain. Religion just needs to be broken down, and then you see the whole maze. But I know 4 of the songs, because 4 of the songs are from the Christian world and 4 are from his world, but their religion was built on top of ours. And now I'm here to say it doesn't matter. Jesus came to set us free of all their religion. And cannabis showed me a door and a window, and psychedelics showed me a whole new path. Kenny dropped this album today. It's called LDS LSD. He's been on Idol. He's been on around the world already. His latest project's called My Name Is Nobody. He wears a mask because he didn't want to be an influencer. He wanted to be known for his voice. But these are his favorite songs. As you feel the cannabis in your system, the medicine, drop in with the songs. They might take you back to a place that you shied away from. There's no altar call or invitation after this thing. It's just some music, and then I'll share a little bit more at the end. We thank you guys for coming. They threw us all out of our religious establishments for doing this, and it's the most honest offering I've ever brought to the world. The plants are spiritual, and so are we. So, Kenny Holland, take it away.
At times I am tempted to make a wrong choice, but I try to listen as the still small voice whispers. This new commandment, I shall never know the Almighty Son. We have loved one to another. Jesus will come again. I try to remember the lessons he taught me. The Holy Spirit is into my heart.
Honestly, it's chronic pain. It could have been
Jesus loves you. Try to show kindness in all that you do. gentle and loving and dear. These are the things Jesus taught me.
Oh, that's where the visual itself is
So to my heart to sing streams of mercy, never see. Call for songs of clouds. Teach me song alone, song by flaming tongues. Oh, I'll praise the mount, I'll praise the mount of thy redeemed. Here I raise my heavens, by thy help I come, and I good pleasure, safely through thy love. Jesus saw me when strayed, wandering from the fold. Jesus, me from danger, interposed, precious one. You've seen a certain level of rejection in my time. In my lifetime, her my upbringing, and my ultimate spiritual belief, and what I've come to discover is my connection with Source, etc. It's been largely in part to plants, quite truly only in part. This next tune is a song that my mother's family and I would sing at the gathering together. The title of the family is 444 Forever. Eternal together on earth, or sick or sad, or fathers to bless us and all the house. We know a family makes it all. Families forever, eternal, together We're never apart, though miles. We'll never fall apart, though miles. Never fall apart, though miles. We'll never fall apart, though miles. Never fall apart, though miles. We'll never fall apart, though miles. All the family's dreams start one day. If we do what we should do, we will still be one. I'll be me, and you will still be you. As I discussed, my name is Kenny Holly. You may have seen the flyer, the appearance of Jimmy Flanders. This was the lead role of the LDS feature film remake of a classic traveling play in the LDS culture from the 70s. 2016, they made the mistake of making the Jimmy Flanders. Honor. That's one of the characters, part of the grand event. Just as Kenny Holland happens to be a stage name, an alias, a character developed in 2011. More on that later. To show moving with it. I'll leave a couple of projects I've recently put out that were inspired by two spaghetti western films from the 70s. One titled My Name is Nobody. The other titled They Call Me Trinity. Two songs from those albums. Have you had a chance to look in the mirror? You're probably staring back at a pretty face. Doesn't really matter what people say. Everybody's got flaws and she pulled up in the ghetto. Doing 120 on the interstate. I was sipping wildflower leaf, thinking about the bread like a KitchenAid, yeah. You was like, whoa, highway patrol, trying to keep up but they moving too slow. Oh, look feel weird. Have you had a chance to look in the mirror today? You're probably staring back at a pretty face. Doesn't really matter what people say. Everybody's got flaws anyway. So have you had a chance to look in the mirror today? You're probably staring back at a pretty face. Doesn't really matter what people say. Everybody's got flaws anyway. That's fine. Every day is like Christmas. The only thing on my wish list. Raw papers, Christian cannabis, Christian cannabis, Christian cannabis, with a pocket full of bread like it's this quick, bitches. You see that at church? Hallelujah. Turn up the check, but you still rock and roll. Oh, it's only me in the green room. I'll say it when I see you. Have you had a chance to look in the mirror today? You're probably staring back at a pretty face. Doesn't really matter what you say. Everybody's got flaws anyway. So have you had a chance to look in the mirror today? You're probably staring back at a pretty face. Doesn't really matter what you say. Don't think I left you all behind. I still love you and I won't be seen. Always on my mind. Mama, every Sabbath day, I can hear your tone of voice 1,000 miles away. God, what have you done? Pony girl, you dance after. I'm just having fun on the stage in my heels. It's where I belong, down Pink Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony Club. Yeah. I'm gonna keep on dancing down in West Hollywood. Yeah. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony On that note, I want to say a grand and large thank you for the hosts and curators of the event, Christian Cannabis, Urbana, Lounge, Marty, Craig, Jason, Alexa, everybody's helping us come together tonight. Interesting thing. It was a morning and a half. This release of this album was so special for me. And for those of you who are, interested, it happened to fall on Bicycle Day yesterday. No, which is the unofficial holiday of LSD, where Dr. Hoffman, the chemist, took a bicycle ride from his lab and it cemented him out there. I didn't even realize this, but all the things surrounding helping us come together is truly special for me. Thank you so much. And E-Rocar is another name I forgot to mention. Thank you all so much. might not go anywhere just yet, but I appreciate it. A few more songs from the album. This is a tune from the LDS book. It's called Choose the Right. And my good friend, Nobody, excuse me, one of the characters' projects on the road, he poses the question, what about the left? Choose the right, where the choice is placed before. In the light, the Holy Spirit God. And its light is forever shining. Around your heart could find. Choose the right, choose the right. All you really want, every child's way. Some say it's far away. I feel it close around me as I pray. I remember now something that Jesus told disciples long ago. Suffer children to come to me. Father, there I'll come now to thee. His speak, Jesus receive. You are his child, his love now surrounds you. Here's your prayer. Loves the children. Now surround you. Here's your prayer. Serves the children inside. Here's the kingdom.
Yeah, I didn't know either until. We're gonna take part. We're not even gonna do it. Yeah. I said I don't want to do a possibility. I said, like, finding it, you better get a ticket. You're gonna tell the people working on spots. I just want to start like skinny, so you basically need that adapter that makes it in that middle frame. There's so many steps. You're like, I'm finishing that. Yeah, right? You're like, this is the beginning of the set. So I feel that's like really lightweight. I thought we were session. I thought we were like speaking the whole thing. Oh my god, it's gonna be like for the next 2 to 3 days. For 2 to 3 days?
I want to express my gratitude once more. Thank you everyone for coming to the service. Happy 420. Happy this is on time. And of course, in the spirit of good music and Christian Cannabis, this album LDS LSD is available now. Couldn't be more proud and grateful for who I am and where I've come from, and it speaks to the music in this area. Thank you for putting it down. That's it. Thank you guys so much. I got one more song for you, and you'll find it fascinating that as a starving artist, you learn that if you collect enough pennies, you'll find your weight in gold. In this case, I was trying to find something to hold down the key of my piano. Because if you notice, I've been triggering tracks from my keys in the routing of this one. This one, I found out that 23 pennies is enough weight to hold down the key of the piano. And I've collected enough of those at this point. Upon further investigation, we may need one Christian cannabis joint to tip the scale. Can we get one? Thank you very much. And lastly, folks, before I hold this key down, these pennies I've collected in my journeys. Thank you again. This is all from the perspective of the spiritual journey that I've taken outside of the constructs of religious culture in tandem with plant medicine. That opportunity through Craig and my loved ones was led me to be able to step into who I really am, heal the traumas and things that I've dealt with my whole life that I didn't even know I was carrying. More on that later. But all these characters that I've created have ultimately been created, co-created with Source and myself for the first time, which I've no name is Kenny McCormick. I was born Kenny McCormick. I share the same name as my father, his father, his father. And the character from South Park that dies every episode. That's what I say. This is all part of a grander project that I can't wait to get to you, Sharon. We'll see at the Sphere. Until then, check out how many pennies it takes to hold down the key of the piano. I'm a certified piano technician out of Lincoln, but thank you all so much.
Yeah.
We'll be ready for the Christian Cannabis joint. I'm awesome, consider some hands up. See the sun. I hear the rolling thunder like powers of the universe is spinning. Since my soul, my Savior died, how great thou, how great thou. Since my soul, my Savior died, how great thou art, how great thou art. Thank you so much for joining me on this 420. Happy Easter.
We're gonna wrap up church here in a second, but if I could get 5 minutes with everybody in here to close this down, just 5 minutes. I'm not gonna ask for money, and I'm not gonna ask you to accept Christ. So this ain't that kind of church, but we're gonna switch this room, and it's gonna be a party. It's gonna be a celebration. As a pastor for 25 years, I didn't know what 420 was. So for this collision, for our world and your world, but I feel more part of the cannabis world now than the church world, because 6 years ago, Kanye was at Coachella. And if you remember, before he was trying to bring down the music industry, which he's speaking truth, he was doing Jesus service at Coachella. I had this vision ever since I was using cannabis. I would use it at night, and then all my Christian friends would come to my house. I'd get them high, order a pizza, tuck them into bed, show them how to buy the stuff at the dispensary. I'm an evangelist. I've been the loudest evangelist in our Christian world. I printed 1 million Bibles that said Jesus loves porn stars on them. Then I went to MJ BizCon and said cannabis is spiritual. And there's a track there that talks about when cannabis drops you inside, this God we've been praying to thinking is going to come back, a lot of that disappears, and you realize the I in Christ. You realize what's inside of you, no matter what religion, what race, where you came from, what Bible you've read. So I started to explore all sorts of spiritual plants. That led me to uncovering the truth about cannabis, that it's spiritual, that it's sacred. And so on Easter today, as we launched Resurrection Flower and spiritual plants, we go launch Mormon Meds, and we go launch a brand for the Catholics called Saints. We're inviting new people to come into a room that they're foreign to. We were afraid to smoke. We thought this was devil's lettuce. We thought and most religious people just need permission. So 6 years ago, I flew a plane over Coachella when Kanye was down there, and it said ChristianCannabis.com, and everyone said, is this a stunt? I put everything I had on the line for this, because I knew if the spiritual crowd could understand what's inside of them, they'll go change the world. They'll go create more rooms like this that don't look like their old church buildings. So for Marty to invite me here, I haven't spoken a sermon in 6 years. I haven't been invited to a mega church or a church. They've been afraid of the message that I'm now speaking, because the message doesn't keep you in those church buildings. It doesn't keep you listening to a puppet on stage that just is a part of a chain of religion. So no matter where you come here from today, I would just encourage you, when you drop in with cannabis, there's a medical use for it. I've watched it heal members. My son has Tourette's. I gave it to him at 14 in a cookie format instead of shooting him with Botox. So I gave my wife cannabis when she had cancer. It cured me of my headaches, and it's dropped me in also in the most fun I've ever had, the recreational side of cannabis. And what I would encourage you to check out this Easter is the spiritual side of cannabis. What happens when you smoke it, you go inside, you understand the power, the light, you understand the energy, you understand the things that might fall away, the things that might show back up, and let it be a guide, let it be a teacher. And look out for us. Look out for a new audience coming into these rooms that are going to be like, I don't know much. Hold their hand into this, and I think we have a whole new world. So thanks for letting us show this off today. Thanks for listening to the music. We got Christian Cannabis joints for $1. We're working on communion wafers and a red spritzer for our next offering at Christmas. So thank you guys for being a part of this today.
Good.